Hello, church family. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to what I would like to call This Past Sunday. Each Wednesday, I'm hoping to give you a recap of this past Sunday's message and a preview of where we are going this next Sunday. If you would like to include these scriptures in your Bible time, I would welcome you to do so. Now, this past Sunday, we started our series looking into Paul's letters to Timothy. We began by looking into 1 Timothy 1, 12 to 17. In these verses, Paul is recognizing the overwhelming task that he is giving to Timothy. But he also provides Timothy with some strong words of encouragement and two foundational truths that he encourages Timothy to ground himself in. Remember, Timothy is being asked to lead a church in an extremely influential city that has a strong foundation in Greek religion, is an economic center of trade, and is a center of academia. It's into this world that Timothy is tasked with preaching the gospel. And it's very likely that Timothy is experiencing feelings of stress and anxiety, maybe asking questions, am I the right person for the job? Am I good enough? I really hope I don't mess this up. But Paul encourages Timothy by reminding him that Paul was once the worst of sinners. And Paul was a horrible person. Yet God used him to do great things. The past resume didn't matter. What mattered was that Paul was willing to go and had confidence in the gospel. Paul also provided Timothy with two foundational truths. One, that God sees value in you, even if the world says you have no value. And two, God will have immense patience with you, walking with you as you come into a relationship with him. Now, Paul encourages Timothy to ground himself in these two truths and to make them foundational in his teaching. That gets us to this week. This upcoming week, we'll be looking into 1 Timothy 2, 1 to 7. Now, with the foundational truths established, Paul takes it up a level. He challenges Timothy to pray and to give thanksgiving for everyone. Yes, even those who will hate Timothy and may try to harm him. But why? Right? Why not just focus on those who are willing and excited to be part of the church? Paul answers, because it is God's desire that we would come to salvation and to knowledge of the truth. Yes, that means even those who we dislike. Even if you have a bit of Jonah in you and you can't wait, you wait eagerly for God to smite those who have wronged you. Paul says, pray for their salvation. And after all, it's not my will, but God's that should be done. It's easy to say, but not so easy to do. But then Paul takes us to an examination of that truth, which God is a desire that we grow in knowledge of. That truth Paul paraphrases in verse 5. And I would challenge you this week during your time of study to reflect on verse 5 and attempt to identify what Paul is pointing to here. My suggestion is to include the Gospel of John in your study time this week as well. I look forward to hearing what God reveals to you, and we'll talk about it this next Sunday. Until then, God bless.